now go to our next session, which will be the innovation strategy roadmap that the CSIR mining cluster has developed. Ms. Ntsoelengoe will be our presenter again. Thank you.
Good morning or good day, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies again for the delay. I will try and get through the presentation in the 10 minutes, they said, because there's another session that's due. Bonang is saying 5. All right, so so the mining cluster. So as I mentioned when we started the panel discussion, that the CSIR has really identified 9 industries, and those 9 industries are have been put together or structured in a form of clusters. So we have the mining cluster that mainly is, can I say, the doorway into mining, for the CSIR. So we have developed a fit-for-purpose innovation strategy with industry and not for industry. And I'm highlighting with industry because it's important that we develop relevant solutions with industry. As mentioned, the collaboration between various industry partners and ourselves was critical. So I'm not going to go through why mining. I guess the panel mentioned that, but one point that Sita mentioned on the endowment, I think as you can see on the slide, that South Africa has a minerals endowment that we need to take opportunity of. So innovation has been said to really unlock over 153 billion in the sector, and that, to ensure that there is improvement in safety, productivity, reduction of cost. I think as our panelists were talking about the cost curve, that most of our mining operations are having higher costs. So we're looking at how then do we bring them to at least second quartile on our cost curve. So RDI, from a capability side, we've had a sharp decline in terms of RDI capabilities. And just a brief overview, as you can see from your left to your right, you will see that previously there was what we called COMRO, and I'm sure I'm seeing some more matured people, not gray hairs, more matured people who will identify with COMRO days, where there was a lot of innovation that was happening, and as we progressed through the years, we really lost a number of capabilities. And by capabilities, I'm really referring to so sort of 3 elements of capability that talks to skills levels, knowledge, people that have in-depth knowledge in the industry to be able to identify opportunities and drive solutions. Secondly, the element of systems. We talk of systems. I think our previous presenter, Charles, mentioned innovation in terms of a models system. So it's important to have a entrenched an understanding of systems and processes in mining. And thirdly, infrastructure. So there was less of investment into mining, especially mining extraction, and hence one will see that over the years that has decreased. But what we're saying as the CSIR is mining, we would like to see growth in the sector again being revived, and hence the development of capabilities. And it's important that there is an investment into that, which I'm glad that the DSI together with the CSIR has started to do that. So in repositioning the mining cluster, we really looked at where is it that we need to play. And I think with Prof. Majosi, as you were saying, that initially you would have seen the CSIR really playing in the almost the gray areas where there was a lot of emphasis on research and development. But right now what we're saying is we're expanding it, and we're looking at how then do we accelerate innovation to ensure that there is your commercialization of solutions in industry. So what we've done is we had extensive engagements with industry, and I'm not going to dwell on that, but we spoke to captains of industry, we spoke to the Minerals Council, we spoke to the DSI, we spoke to DMRE in constructing this innovation roadmap, because we really wanted everyone to be on board as we roll out the strategy. And this is not a peg in the sand where we're saying, this innovation roadmap won't change. But what we're saying is this is a start for us to having a focused collaboration. I think we spoke about in the panel around how do we collaborate. And this, for us, we see it as alignment in terms of identifying those key areas where there could be co-investment to ensure that we move strides. And basically, there were 3 themes that we saw, coming out of our strategy. One being digital and automation. Secondly, extraction mining being core in terms of what we do, how do we enable that? And lastly, optimization, optimized energy and decarbonization. So you will see, in the next slides as I go through, some of the focus areas. So by mine digitization, we're not, just talking about automation as you know it, but also this would include advancements in terms of integration. And that's where, the likes of the digital twin, and I really encourage, the members to really, and delegates to attend. There is a digital TMM, digital twin prevention a presentation that the team is giving. So this goes about how do we leverage off whatever that we have already, which is data. So, taking data and really turning the data into intelligence to ensure that we are informing decision making, with the industry, and application of data analytics, as mentioned, to enable decision support. But I think the other that I wanted to highlight is the geosensing. So one of the areas where the CSIR has been really a leader is in radar capability, sensor design, and we have, we have our geosensing tools that we are looking at. How now do we advance these? So the likes of a ground penetrating radar, for instance, how then do we use this tool, to be airborne, for instance, to put it on a UAV, to be airborne. But I think on top of that, how then do we integrate various geospatial data to be able to have that multiplier impact? And from an extraction processes, I think most of our clients know us for our independent testing and training area, which we're really looking at application of 4IR technology solutions, the likes of application of enhanced VR headsets, for instance, to immerse people into an environment, not really moving away from classroom training, but really incorporating competency-based training, as opposed to just having an awareness training. So we are showcasing the competency-based training, some of the modules that we've developed at the expo upstairs. So please, I also recommend highly that you go and interact with the teams and see what we're doing there. What we're also doing is also looking at circular economy. How do we start to build that road, that pathway for a circular economy ecosystem, which is something that a partnership, here is critical to ensure that we drive these solutions. And then lastly, talking about decarbonization, as you know, that as I think you've heard the minister also mentioning, the hydrogen economy and the involvement of the CSIR and DSI on that. So we're really looking at how then do we enhance the current capabilities and application to mining. So the example lastly that I just want to talk about is the rapid, and this is basically a casing example of how to jointly with Minerals Council, with mineral operations, mining operators, that we are able to then sit across the room. I guess by then it was across a digital screen, and really start to understand what the problem is. When Sitze came to us, he mentioned he asked us a question: what is the art of the possible around collision prevention? And looking at application of already existing tools, which is a digital twinning into this environment enabled us to have a proof of concept study that we're able to do within a duration of 8 months. And we are currently now testing the solution at operations. And it's a risk-based tool. As you can see that, that was initially what we started with. And now we're looking at how then do we incorporate this tool within a mining environment, really looking at dynamic risk evaluation and mitigation around traffic management. And the capabilities, just to show you, initially in mining, we're talking about your mining disciplines, traditional mining disciplines that we know, being geophysics, being mining engineering, rock engineering. And now what we're looking at is how then do we add digital skills and digital capabilities for us to be able to have dynamic capabilities and be able to grow from there. So I think that's all that I wanted to say, and that we would like to engage further with you. Thank you.